Hello, everyone, and welcome to this early edition on Memorial Day of Mountain Man Monday. This is episode number 28, our live stream episode number 28 for May 25th, 2020. I hope everybody is having a great start to this week, whether you're having a long weekend and maybe got the day off, spending some time with family, enjoying the nice weather outside, whatever way that you are able to celebrate today. And I just wanted to jump on here a little bit early because after a bit, I got to cook dinner for the family. This was my wife's idea, so why not jump on a little bit early, say hello, see what's happening in the community. Normally I'm working at this time of the day, so it's nice to see who is here. And we have Rita. Rita, hello, good to see you. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice day today on Memorial Day. And everybody else who's joining the chat, either live right now or watching this later after the fact. And so looking forward to folks rolling in here. It's been a pretty nice day so far as the weather in the mountains. We were supposed to get some heavy thunderstorms, but luckily we haven't thus far. It's been a pretty good weekend. Got a lot done around outside. Didn't really do anything as far as going on vacation anywhere or visiting anywhere, but did get a lot around done the house. Yay! Hey, Marvin. Yes, I am early. I'm early because I'm not working today. I'm going to cook out a little bit later, and the family just went on a walk, so I decided to go ahead and say hello. Because I was a little bit worried about the evening being too hectic. So glad that folks could roll in here right now. And wanted to go ahead and say, we have that new format as folks roll in. It's newer at this point. I've been doing it for the last several weeks where we start by, everybody's rolling in. And then we'll move on to a little housekeeping on the channel for the Mr. Mountain Man community. And then some interesting news and notes happening in Western North Carolina and across the nation and wherever that is interesting to this community. And so we'll get into that in a few minutes. But I also wanted to take this time to, remember our fallen and what today's about and honor Memorial Day for those that have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom, for this great country that we live in. And for us to be able to do things like YouTube and cook hot dogs and hamburgers and, have the worst thing that we have to worry about is the paint on sale at Home Depot on Memorial Day weekend, that kind of ancillary stuff. So definitely remember those who have paid that sacrifice and are fallen, and also to honor Memorial Day. And so definitely keeping that in mind today. And very thankful for where we live and the blessings that we have. So I hope you all are enjoying today as well. And I tell you what, I'm definitely thankful I had the day off. I've been working a lot, and it is super nice to have a 3-day weekend. So it's been so I've been enjoying it, and again spent some time, ran some errands earlier, went to the grocery hardware store and some other ancillary things. So not doing anything like the beach or anything like that, or heading out to the mountains. But hopefully in the upcoming weeks, we'll be getting out and about. It's just been a lot to do around the house on my own, I guess you would call it honey-do list, although my wife doesn't have to make that list. I'm usually first to figure out what needs to be done around here. Oh, it looks like I'm missing some people here. Sorry, I was on the wrong one. Let's say, hey, Smoky Mountain Hiker, I just want to say hello to you. I haven't seen you here in a while. I know the timing may not be right. I hope you're doing well, enjoying the hikes that you're going on. You've got anybody new to the channel, Smoky Mountain Hiker has a YouTube channel. Great stuff over there. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying getting out, the nicer weather, and things are going well and staying safe. Nice morning in North Carolina. Hit rain on the way back to Tennessee side of the Smokies. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about too. And Rita mentioned it's been hot here today, very sunny and hot. So this is the one thing about when we roll into the summer is the blessings of elevation. When you get, I mean, in general, Western North Carolina, as soon as you come up I-26 out of South Carolina, you're automatically at 2,000 feet, like the French Broad River's at 2,000 feet. But then, it could vary anywhere from there, anywhere between 2,000 up to 6,700 if you were going up to like Mount Mitchell or something crazy like that. So now most of the time people aren't living at that type of elevation here in the Blue Ridge Mountains and Smoky Mountains. But, 3,000 feet, 4,000, 2,500, you get that cool down because of the increase in elevation. And I love it. When I lived in Florida, we had those 90 degree springs in winter and stuff. You get tired of it after a while. So yeah, I love the temperate summers in the mountains with a bit of a higher elevation to have hot days being in like the 80s, mid 80s. That's fine with me. When I was growing up, I spent a lot of time in Erie, Pennsylvania, where my grandparents lived. And they had some of the cooler summers because, the lake and everything up there. Of course, they had some crazy winters too, but it doesn't have to be 100 degrees for me to enjoy summer. Let's see. We've got Foxy Wolf, Mr. Mountain Man. Happy holidays, everyone. Yes, to you as well. I appreciate it. Foxy Wolf has been just an excellent. Been watching all the videos on the channel. I really appreciate that support. Awesome. Thank you. Really appreciate it. We got a hello to the Smoky Mountain Hiker. Sunshine 66. Hello, Lily. Good to see you. And 66 in summer. I know you get some cold winters up your way as well. Let's see. We got Will and Dawn from Yankee in the South. Well, hello to you all as well. I hope you had a wonderful, safe, enjoyable weekend in Myrtle Beach. Chris and Mindy, I believe, are with you all. I did see a picture of Myrtle Beach on CNN. It looked packed during the day. And so, good for the economy. I'm not sure about how it worked with social distancing and all that stuff, but Myrtle Beach is awesome. I love Myrtle Beach. I have some videos on my channel on Myrtle Beach, and it's a great place to go. I hope you guys had a great time. Thanks for stopping in today. I'm on a little bit earlier, and we're going to get right into and just a real quick hello, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into my other portion. We've got Blondie's Adventure. Hello. We've got Roxy Foxy and the Dr. J Show. Beautiful day in East Tennessee. Had the doors open. Good afternoon to you on all. Marvin Carlton says 86 here and air conditioning isn't working. I'm sorry about that. That is miserable when the air doesn't work. So let's go ahead and get to our news and notes of the week for May 25th, 2020. So the main news and the notes for the week, and I will go ahead and, as always, share my screen. And let's get this going here. And share. I'm getting better at this. And there we have it. Whoops, one second. One second. Good. There we go. All right. Let me see. Make it a little bit bigger. Okay. So for news and notes, as always, I've been talking about the last few weeks. I have an Instagram account, Mr. Mountain_man. I've been trying to put some pictures and stay in touch with you all as in between videos and what's going on. So feel free. You don't need an Instagram account. There's a cookout from yesterday. Hey, by the way, if ever those of you that watched last week, Little Pigs Barbecue, decided to go there on Friday night. I didn't make a video there, but excellent barbecue if you're ever in the Asheville area. We got a crazy amount of rain this past week. As you can see on the first day, after 2 days, I thought 2.5 inches was big, followed by 4 inches, and finally followed by 5 inches of rain. We had a ton of rain, which was great because I put down some timely fertilizer outside. But let me tell you, we got a ton and a half of rain this week, and I had a little video of the rain going down the mountain there. So 5 inches of rain between early Monday morning and Friday. It was a very, very wet week. So anyway, the Mr. Mountain Man Instagram account. I also have Twitter under the same handle, Mr. Mountain_man. But if you like pictures, check this out. I did have a video come out last week, which was the Chimney Rock hike for the Four Seasons Trail leading to the Hickory Nut Falls Trail. Hickory Nut Falls is just unbelievable. 400 feet waterfall. You're at the bottom. I've done a previous video where I went to the top. And so it was just an incredible week there. And so if you like hiking, and those have been pretty popular videos on the Mr. Mountain Man channel, I've gotten a lot of comments about that. And so it's been really nice to connect with the community from Chimney Rock and some of the hikes. And so I love the comments. I've been answering them. Some people are fans of Last of the Mohicans, the movie, which I was as well. And so got to talk a little bit about that. And and once again, I have the wrong banner on. This is housekeeping for the week of May 25th, 2020. I always get that. I'm always pushing the wrong banner. So this is the wrapped up housekeeping. Got a new video and last week and on a little bit earlier today, Mr. Mountain Man Instagram account. And I was on another live stream and I wanted to mention a little bit of show and tell. I did used to be in bowling. And so right here is probably going to put me out of focus, but this is a 300 bowling ring. I can't get it centered. I'm sorry. We were talking, it was on Saxy Matt's stream. A lot of folks up there in New York, in that area, and just all over the country into bowling. I used to roll league a lot. I've actually had 2 300 games, so I have it in this little case right here. They did, after a while, stop doing the ring because so many people were getting it, but this was pretty cool. So the date on this was August the 29th, 2007. So it's been almost 13 years, but I had a couple of 300. So that's a little show and tell there for you. In the housekeeping this week, my 300 ring from bowling. I don't do that as much anymore because it's so busy with family and work and other things, but I did enjoy bowling very much. So now rolling into news and notes of the week of May 25th. As I had mentioned, let me get over to this other tab. We want to make sure that we do remember today and remember our fallen and honoring Memorial Day. Here was a picture here of the National Guard at a New Jersey veterans home, as well as here. This was actually in somebody from New York visiting the National Cemetery just yesterday. And so wanted to make sure, again, I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream that, what today is about and keeping that in mind of those making the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And so definitely very thankful for that and just wanted to reiterate on that. Another article kind of along that way, which I can't scroll because I don't have a subscription, but National Geographic, something interesting, speaking of fallen heroes and Memorial Day, the greatest generation, that being those that, fought in World War II and that generation. They talk about why it's important to hear stories from World War II's last surviving survivors. We're marking the 75th anniversary of the end of the war. And unfortunately, it's been very untimely with COVID because that population that's mostly over 90 years old are obviously very susceptible to that. And what I read was that it was roughly about 400,000 remaining veterans from World War II. And so, sorry about this. This is subscribe. I really wanted to show this article, but I had seen it in an email. But the point being is that, if both my grandparents were in World War II. Unfortunately, they both passed away, not in the war, but since then. But the knowledge and the stories that I got to hear, I actually have my grandfather, Purple Heart and Bronze Star, and he fought in Europe. And my other grandfather was over in the Pacific side of things toward the tail end of the war. So, World War II veterans, if you see them out, make sure to thank them for their service. And these are true gems of our culture. And so hopefully everybody gets to, take a second to thank those folks and honor them because there aren't that many of them left, unfortunately. We talked a little bit about last week about buffets. How are buffets going to be managed in this new normal? And I found, a couple of articles, Golden Corral, I know a lot of people do or don't like it. I particularly am a fan of Golden Corral. I like it because the family and the kids can get whatever they want. I like to eat big sometimes too, you know, part of the bodybuilding thing. And so I do enjoy buffets. And so I was looking forward to going back to them. But, you know, there's a lot of things that they're having to do. We were contemplating last week about how are they going to have to change in order to reopen and make things happen. So, you know, Golden Corral, if picking on or talking about them first, have reopened in many, many states. They are reopening as trying to offer cafeteria style or family style dining. They have a series of safety measures, including rigorous cleaning, temperature checks, hand sanitizing, etc. They're trying to adhere to those rules. However, some of the smaller buffets have a little bit more of a problem. This was from Palm Beach down in Florida. And this one in particular was Arden's Country Cafe. And they were having a little bit more difficulty under those regulations. They were doing $10 boxes as takeouts. But they were having more of a challenge, but, you know, retrofitting restaurants to be cafeteria style, because I had read in another article, Golden Corral was, I believe, changing out their utensils every 15 minutes. You could only have 2 people at each end of the buffet. They were getting rid of the salad bar and the dessert bar. I think they were managing that in other ways that you could get the food. So they're trying to limit that exposure of people to that food directly. So we'll have to see, you know, and here it was, also did away with salad bar, dessert bar, and took it down to make people comfortable. And so they mentioned, though, switching to cafeteria style or family style might work for the big chain buffets, but the independents would have more a difficult time. So, you know, while Golden Corral might be able to go into that pool of money as a you know, a larger corporation and retrofit their restaurants, some of the smaller ones may not. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I would like to go back to buffets, but also not until it's safe. I may not, you know, the one I miss, I don't know if Will and Don and those guys are still here, but we've talked about before, my favorite buffet was just where they were in their neck of the woods, which was Captain Benjamin's there in South Carolina. And I did a video on that, and they had sent me a care package with all kinds of shirts and whatnot because they had seen the video and really liked it, and we wanted to go back there. But I think until this settles down more permanently, I will be somewhat hesitant. But I was interested into seeing how they were going to manage buffets in this time. And so there's a little information. It's kind of a hybrid model. You know, some takeout, some cafeteria style, some more service from the waiters and I guess I should say the staff, excuse me, behind the food itself, trying to keep that as safe as possible. Because unfortunately, buffets, like we talked about, even though I like them, they didn't tend to be the most sanitary anyway. As I had mentioned before, you know, we would see people sniffle. This was before the pandemic, but sniffle and kind of wipe their, you know, hands on their mouth, and, you know, maybe not wash their hands in the bathroom, you know, stuff that's not sanitary. And then they use those tongs to pick up food. So we always had hand sanitizer at the table that we would wipe our hands after eating to make sure that, you know, we weren't, you know, touching all that stuff, then eating a piece of fried chicken or, you know, a roll or, you know, dessert or whatever you were eating. So that's some interesting information on the buffets. Next up, Buncombe County. So people who are not familiar with Buncombe County, Buncombe County is the main county that encompasses Asheville, North Carolina. So, you know, you're talking about the core Western North Carolina. Over here, they are mandating public coverings at indoor public facilities. They're not going to cite anybody if they're not wearing it, but it is a mandate. Buncombe County and Asheville tend to be more strict than what the governor of North Carolina's standards are, and the phased reopening, because they can at a county level manage that as well. And why this might be interesting to you all is if you're traveling to Western North Carolina for vacation or tourism or whatever it might be, just to be aware about that. Some owners I had seen on the local news, some business owners, because it's private property, they don't have to choose to allow to serve people. if they don't wear a mask. So some places, you know, I know some small businesses, the particular owner might have been at risk because of asthma or some pre-existing condition. And so it was their choice to put a sign on the door that said, if you don't wear a mask, you know, you can't come in. That's totally their choice. But Buncombe County is requiring it. So it was kind of important folks do know about that. Also, if people were coming from out of state or out of area, the actual Asheville phone area code is 828. So for the first phase in May of reopening, you could not make a hotel reservation in the Asheville area unless you were a local resident. They did not want out of area residents. But now in part of phase 2 and phase 3, you can have out of area leisure travel. And this is also another hotbed of tourism. I mean, you've got, you know, leaf peeper season and the hiking in the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Biltmore and the Arboretum and all kinds of things that happen around here. So we get a lot of people from out of state. And so if that'll be good news for those that are from out of the area. As another part of that, there was a little bit of controversy because North Carolina allowed the reopening of tap rooms and breweries, but not bars. So even if you're not a drinker, just independent thinking about local economies, local bar owners are hurting a bit because the distinction is that breweries and tap rooms typically are making alcohol for the consumption out of their premise, meaning you might go to a brewery and buy something and then take it home because you visited on a tour, whereas a bar is typically pulling people in. And so the whole idea of having people in versus people leaving. So it's an interesting distinction that breweries, microbreweries, and tap rooms that are related to microbreweries could be open, but not bars at this point. Again, from an economic standpoint, that, you know, it's just some of these small business owners are struggling, but they are allowing that because Asheville is also known as like beer city. It's huge into craft beer and the different types of beers. So people that are in that, a lot of people do visit for that reason as well. And also just, you know, some positive news, you know, community aid helping Western North Carolina food banks meet the challenges, Manna Food Bank, and others that are reaching out in food demand, because you have a lot of mixed scenarios during the pandemic. You have some people that are out of jobs still, a lot of people out of jobs, a lot of people that are struggling to get that next meal. I happen to know from our children in school, they're asking for food donations because a lot of the kids that were getting meals at school, whether it be breakfast and lunch, aren't necessarily getting that now. And summer's coming up, and because of the restrictions and all those things, it's more difficult to feed some of the lower income families. So people that are donating time, food, money, and others, it's a real kind, welcome thing to do to keep, you know, there's so many things to pick out in society and stuff that are rough and controversial and argumentative and, you know, on and on and on. But there's also a lot of positiveness and a lot of good spirit and heart and helping that exists in the community. And this was one of those examples as well. So good things going on in the mountains, and I'm sure other places as well, for people helping other people. So that does it for the news and notes of the week for May 25th, 2020. So now, as always, we will go back to the open chat and see who is around. Let's see. Blondie's Adventures, I did say hello. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Lots of highs and what's going on. Let's see here. South Georgia at my house, got 5 minutes of rain. Yeah, you know, we contemplated about going over to Gatlinburg because the Ripley's Putt-Putt is back open again, and we did get the season passes and haven't been able to really use them. But it said 80% chance of rain. And so we just didn't, with the kids and the young, we didn't want to get over there and get soaked. Of course, it's just been mostly overcast today and not that bad. So, you know, whatever we did, it was going to be the opposite Murphy's Law. It was either going to be, we went over there and got soaked, or we stay at home and it's going to be a beautiful sunny day. So trying to make the best of it. And yes, happy Memorial Day to everyone. Yes, the U.S. Yep. And at the beginning of my tribute to that as well. Foxy Wolf says, congratulations on the 300. Happened quite some time ago. Lots of hobbies and lots of things to enjoy. I'm into a lot of things, actually. I mean, you could start here with YouTube. I'm into motorcycles because I have a motorcycle and I like leisure riding. I have a Cobra and I like working on cars sometimes, for things that I can do. Bowling, bodybuilding, spending time with family, mountains, outdoor, leisure, all kinds of stuff, movies. That's why football, I love, I'm like a big, Pittsburgh Steelers, Ohio State Buckeyes, lots and lots of NASCAR, lots of things that I'm into. And it's crazy because all of those things that I mentioned, typically the fan base around them, that might be like the main thing or the only thing they do. Like when I went bowling, people that bowled, that's all they did. Some of the bodybuilders I hang around with, that's all they do. I tend to be, that's hence the name of my other channel, The Eclectic Handyman. I think in nature, I am a very eclectic person. I think lots of people have many hobbies, but I in particular seem to spread myself out on a lot of different things. And bowling is one of those. So it's fun. I need to get back out and do it again. Oh, Blondie, that's really cool. I appreciate you saying hit the thumbs up, and everybody who supports the channel. I really like and enjoy the group of regulars that show up here and support the channel every week. I'm very thankful for you all. I hope you find the format and the social part of it entertaining. That's the idea, is that you guys have a good time and we're all talking to each other. And so, and it looks like Blondie has left since then. That's the only downside of me being a little bit behind. Very thankful for all the service people. They keep us free. That's right. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Rita. Let's see. Foxy Wolf said, saluting all that have served or serving, and those who are keeping the home fires burning as well. Yes, yes, exactly. And, because we honor every day, but we have the two, major, we also have Veterans Day later in the year, and then Memorial Day for the fallen, and this today. And so always very, very important. Handmade blessings. Hey, Mr. Batman, thank you for remembering the fallen heroes. Well, thank you for being here, and glad to have you here on the live stream, my early live stream. And yes, absolutely. SMH says, it's been raining in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, so you did a good thing staying home. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for that. That makes me feel better, and I'll tell my wife the same because that's exactly right. If I would have gone over there, with the baby and whatnot, it would just probably been soaking and miserable. It's also, you all let me know, because I'm not East Tennessee, I'm Western North Carolina, the restaurant situation, because one of the things is, because it's like 2 hours for us to get over there, we want to make a day of it. And I was like, well, that's kind of far to go play a game of putt-putt, and we can't sit down at Golden Corral or any place else and eat. Old Mill, doesn't matter, whatever, or it could have been small. So, you find yourself eating on your lap in the car, unless you can find a picnic bench, maybe at like Patriot Park or along the Pigeon River, or there's a park tucked down. I forget what it's called. We've been there before. Leaving Gatlinburg, you take this little road down. There's a very small park with a little, it's like by a water treatment area. Anyway, I hope I'm not confusing you all, but finding a place to sit down outside with your takeout food when you're not from the area, I thought could have been a little cumbersome. So, but we plan on getting over there to, check it out here soon. What are the crowds like during the week in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg? So usually the answer to that is less, less than the weekends, less than holidays, especially less than the big holidays when we used to stay over there at Christmas a lot. I mean, right after Christmas, between that and New Year's, packed downtown Gatlinburg. It's hard to drive. It's hard to find parking. I don't care if you want to pay for it. It's still hard to find parking, getting in and out of parking lots. I have memories of being in downtown Gatlinburg post-Christmas and smelling so much exhaust, being in almost like you're speaking of NASCAR, like leaving a race stuck in gridlock, just cars idling, burning, and just, so the week is typically better and less crowds And also, when you talk about the difference, Gatlinburg is very quaint and narrow and a little more difficult to manage or navigate for the car. But that's its beauty, too, is it's quaint and narrow and intimate and cute. Pigeon Forge, the big parkway, got elbow room. And, you don't walk up and down typically. I mean, maybe during the car shows, but normally it's a destination place via the car. You go from one place to another in a car. You're not walking 5 miles down the bank drag in Pigeon Forge. So, even when the traffic is bad in Pigeon Forge, and it can during those car shows, it's still a little more elbow room to get out and about and do what you want to do. Glad to see you were showing very clear today. Woo! Well, nobody's here right now. I have everything turned off. And thanks to the YouTube people pressing the buttons, I must be a little bit clearer today. So that's really cool. And Smoky Mountain Hiker says it's going to be busy here on out, Marvin. And yeah, Smoky Mountain Hiker can attest to that. I assume a lot of that is the summer. Summer's coming up. It's just going to be busy in general. The kids are off. We'll be really off school, not just homeschooling. So it's going to be a lot busier. Chad Loveless, good afternoon, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone. Well, good afternoon to you as well. Honoring our fallen and Memorial Day as well to you. Let's see. Yep. Happy Memorial Day. Did you manage to get any painting done, or has it been too much rain since last week? That's a great question. I am trying to get it back in focus. That drives me crazy. It's when I use these hand gestures and then I get the camera all cattywampus. So is that an official technical term, by the way? Cattywampus? You guys ever use that before? It means like out of tilt. I did get painting done. So I'm painting some deck railing in white, and it has been laborious. I mean, it takes forever. So what I did was, pressure washed it and sanded it, not down to the dry wood because the paint is old, it's too hard, but the loose paint, and then paint it. But every single spindle that you go into, and it's not one brush stroke, you're over and you're tucking under and you're doing this. So Saturday was like a Herculean effort outside. I woke up, I mowed the grass, helped put out about 10 bales of pine needle for the bedding, put out 4 or so bags of pine bark mulch, and then transitioned into painting for like 5 hours. And so when I left painting that rail late on Saturday, my back was worn out from that day. It was, and I also worked out. Did I work out that day or not? No, I don't think I worked out. That was yesterday, so that doesn't count. But yeah, it was a crazy day that day. So I did get some painting done. It seems like kind of the thing to do. Memorial Day, Labor Day, the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's, they always have paint sale. I will say that just random note about the paint I bought. It's still out of focus. Let's see if I can get that. You guys should laugh at me because I'm always like, this is a really good camera, by the way. I told you I have a video, but it's kind of out of date at this point. But I don't know why the focus doesn't do that. Anyway, whatever. Let me see if I can come in and come back out. There we go. Now I'm happy, at least on my end. All right. So the paint that I used was called Marquee from Home Depot, and it's their top of the line paint plus primer. The good thing is the application of it goes really far. So a couple of gallons lasted quite a bit. It's a little more expensive, but I do recommend it. It's very nice. I got the semi-gloss, which the previous paint on the deck was flat. Flat doesn't work that well for outdoors, especially in the mountains, because it's porous and it holds like mold and dirt. So it hides imperfections, but it was really bad on the deck. So I'm in this long process of trying to strip it down and repaint it. So yeah. So cattywampus is a term in your neck of the woods. Okay, so we hear each other on that one then. We got Rick&Dell. Hey, hello, Mr. Mountain and everyone in the chat. Good to see you guys as well. Hope everything is going well. And yes, happy Memorial Day to you as well, honoring our fallen today. I have on my American flag shirt. This is a Gold's Gym shirt. And then this is my working out in the yard hat that I have. So, yeah. Rita says something that I actually feel. I hate everything about painting. I also, too, dislike painting. It is a necessary evil. Like indoor painting, I've gotten better at over the years because I've done so much at it. My first house I ever did it, I bought a book and it took me a while to do well at it. But I have gotten better. Exterior painting, I've never done anything like on the house or anything. But yeah, like the deck, I have done some stuff. The trick for outside is primer. Like without primer, it just come up in a couple of years. And so, but it is tedious. I mean, you get pain in here. And, when you're talking about a room like this, cutting those corners and different colors and not getting them to bleed, the ceiling and the trim. A lot of people pay people to do stuff like this. Unfortunately, and as I always, kind of give all these plugs to my other channel man, the Eclectic Handyman, that's how I save money. When I can, I work on my own car. When I can, I work on my own house. I am not a tradesman at some of the more art things that take years of experience. And I talked about painting, but I think I've given an example before, like tiling floors. So like, making plumb lines to make sure you're doing it straight and your pattern isn't crooked, or bricklaying, or, some of these things, no way. I would pay somebody for that in a second. True electrical work, I'm talking like I'll do like outlet replacements and, things like that and switch replacements, but like actual wiring, I'm not touching it. Plumbing with gas. I did put in a propane gas dryer and I did change some of the end fixtures, but not like any running from the core lines or switching out or brass plumbing or fittings. I have installed my own water heater before. HVAC, I don't touch, but all this type of stuff I try to do myself to save money. It enables me to save that money and use it for other things, the family or the house or whatever I need to do. It comes at a cost of time, which I understand is also a premium thing. I had a discussion with a former colleague of mine who said he always wanted to pay to have somebody mow the grass because that meant more time for his kids, which didn't make me feel like dad of the year, but I did need to mow the grass because I saved hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year, especially when living in Florida, because you have to mow it year round. Plus I like the exercise and I kind of enjoy doing it. But yeah, mowing the grass, painting, minor work on the car, motorcycle, garage, house, topical stuff. Yeah, I try to do it myself. But I don't begrudge people that pay to have people do that because they just don't have time. So yeah. How am I doing? Thanks for asking. I'm doing well. I'm on a little bit earlier today because the family went for a walk. I got a cookout later for the family, and I was able to just jump on here a little bit earlier. Normally I'm working right now, but I just want to see who was here. And again, I'm very appreciative. Tip of the hat, tip of the cap to all the folks in the Mr. Mountain Man community that are regulars and here and have a great conversation with you guys every week. I really appreciate that support. But forget about the word support for a second. I just enjoy the social interaction. I've made statements about my goals on my channel and things, and I want it to organically grow, and I've been very aggressive on it. It has to stay in the fun zone because of how busy my life is. So more than the support that I do talk about, but it's about hanging out with you all. Like when you guys put something fun in the chat, I enjoy that. Like this is like, nice to connect with people that I, ordinarily don't see or wouldn't see or don't have time. And so, yeah, but I'm doing well, doing great. I'm going to cook a flank steak later. Yesterday had hot dogs and sausages. So nothing glamorous. I'm not out there doing the smoker for, 16 hours and, award-winning rubs and stuff like that. I'm pretty good on the grill. I usually do it year round. I don't let weather scare me. I don't care if it's snowing or raining. I grill close to once a week. I don't know if Will and Don or Chris and Mindy or those guys are still hanging out in the background. They may have left. But I had them once over to grill and cook out. I enjoy doing it, and I typically do it on Sundays for the family. Today's Monday. I did it yesterday. But yeah, so I told my family they can paint my house as a Christmas gift. That would be a tremendous gift. I think one room is probably a nice gift. I remember the last house we had when we were in Florida. I had the luxury at the time of still having an apartment. And I went into that house, took a bunch of time off work, like 2 weeks, and it was all white and painted almost every room before my wife and I had moved in. This was before we had kids. I remember from sunup to sundown and beyond, sitting there with the XM satellite radio back then, just playing in the background and painting bedrooms and family room and kitchen and paint. So it's pretty fun to be able to pick your own colors and not have to pay a painter, but it takes a long time. But you get better at it as it goes along and you get into a rhythm. It's always like the first couple of hours, you're trying to figure out your system and how you're doing it. And then after a while, you get into a rhythm. I don't like trying to find somebody to paint. I cannot do it myself. Yeah. One of the things I kind of like for that area, like I'll give you another example. One time we had to have like a door company come out or a locksmith and some other stuff. Angie's List. It's only like a $6 a year membership online, I think is what I pay, or whatever I'm locked into. It's that. And you get access to like all types of trades folk, from home engineering, like real complex stuff, to electricians, to painters, to you name it. I mean, they're in there and they have ratings, and sometimes I'll have coupons. So Angie's List is a good way, because you're right, trying to find word of mouth, and somebody says, oh, I had Joe paint my house, he's great. And you get Joe, and maybe he wasn't as good for you as he was your buddy or your neighbor. So word of mouth is great a lot of times, but if you got to go hunting for your own, Angie's List, if you Google that, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it before. Small price to pay, and I have gone through there, and I've been happy with the people I have found in there. I hope you and your family have a great afternoon. I appreciate that. I think we're looking forward to it. Like I said, they're out walking right now, letting the dog get a walk, stretch her legs. I was out running a bunch of errands earlier. I picked up some pizza and a salad and some other stuff just to have a little bit of a late lunch to tie over. Went to Ace Hardware and Home Depot and Harbor Freight. Stopped at the grocery store in Ingalls, and just running around. So I don't have that great Memorial Day stereotypical picture, of doing like some great, awesome thing. But it's not about, again, we talked about the onset, it's just about, what today's about, remembering the fallen, honoring that, spending time with family and being appreciative of what we have, which I am. Painting is rough on the back. It. Let me tell you what. So and I lift weights and do all this stuff, and it drives me crazy, because I'm like, I should be in a good shape. And I feel like I'm 115 years old when I'm done painting. I'm like hunched over, my back hurts. I had to wear this like mover's belt that I put around, and it holds my back tight, because I was sitting down doing that deck railing, and I'm like painting, and then I'm painting, and then I'm on my knees, and then I'm hunched over, and my back just hurt. It hurt. So yeah, I think in the house, the funny thing is the easiest part is like the roller. So I was talking about outside, but the roller is easy. But when you start cutting the top and the sides and the bottom, that's when you got to get in weird positions, and it doesn't feel so comfortable. We enjoy barbecue in our family. I have cooked almost everything on the grill, but I do have a grill. It's a 5-burner grill, but not like a smoker. So I have cooked ribs, and I've watched the videos, and I pull the skin off the baby back ribs, and I let it marinate and put a dry rub, and I'll slow cook them on the propane grill. And I might put the bark in there to let it simmer and smoke and stuff. But that's about as fancy as I get. But the good thing is I still can cook. I'll do burgers, chicken, whether that's thighs, breast, fish. I'll do. I don't do fish too much. If it's fish, it's going to be salmon usually, and that's probably only a few times a year. Love fish, but normally we bake fish. Pork chops, hot dogs, sausages. What am I missing? Oh, steak, hamburger. Did I say hamburger steaks? Not hamburger steaks, but steaks and hamburgers. Flank steak tonight. So all that fun stuff. When you finish painting, it will look fresh and beautiful. Yeah, you should see, because this deck railing I'm doing is in white, and there's no way I can finish it in one shot because it takes so long. The new railing is bright white and nice, and the old one is like black stained and pieces missing. So you're exactly right, Rick&Dell. It's a great sense of accomplishment when you're done. You're like, it looks great. Yeah. Hey, Crystal. Hi, Mr. Mountain Man, and happy Memorial Day to you as well. I hope you're having a great start to your week. Thank you for joining the live stream. And tell us what you're doing today. What's going on? Everybody tell us what you're doing today. Are you cooking out, staying inside because it's hot, staying in the air conditioning? Just enjoying an extra day off of work. Maybe just some people had to work. I went to the hardware store and grocery. All those folks were working. And I remember those days too. So, yeah, I love me some ribs. I do too. And I really, again, can appreciate the folks that do spend 12 hours in a professional smoker doing that kind of stuff. I just try to get savvy with your homeowner, type grill. I don't have the egg or anything like that, but I've been to, over the years, I'll go to somebody's house for a get together, a party, and somebody's really into that. And then they make incredible stuff. What I wish I could get into, I don't know if I have the time. I need to kind of look and make pork butt, so you can have pulled pork, because I love pulled pork. Like Friday when we went to Little Pigs, I got the family meal plus extra fried chicken, and my favorite part's the pulled pork, and their sauce there at Little Pigs is also very good. It's so thick though, they have a nozzle on it. It's pointless because the nozzle gets clogged. You got to take the nozzle off and pour it on your pulled pork. Or it's going to get clogged. But I love pulled pork. So if I could make it, and it was good, I don't know how they get all the fat out of pulled pork. That's just something I haven't gotten into. So all those things I listed, now I'm thinking that's the great thing about YouTube, right? I could just watch a YouTube video and see how to make a pork butt, pulled pork, and make some barbecue. Foxy says, my smoker went out, master built. And if I open the back to see the problem, I won't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So, hey, maybe YouTube for you as well. Look at how to fix the smoker, the master built, fixing a master built smoker. Check it out. I mean, I think of how much more productive I am because of YouTube. That's one of the reasons I like making my other channel, Eclectic Handyman videos, because I love it when somebody puts in. So the responses I get here are usually that's a awesome video. Thanks for taking me on that journey. The responses I get on the other ones are, thank you so much for helping me out. And I really enjoy helping people because, for example, Foxy Wolf here, if that was the thing and I had made a video and maybe could help somebody, but so much more productive. I think when my dad and when I was growing up, I remember on the shelf, there was he's not a plumber, but we had one plumber book, on how to do plumbing, a general plumbing book. Now, if I have a plumbing, and I had a sink problem, where do you think I went to? I immediately went to YouTube. Also, I bought some nice paint brushes for the painting. Well, I used to buy disposables, but I finally invested a little bit more. So instead of $1 brushes, I bought $10 brushes. You want to keep those and keep them clean, but I was letting them get a little too gooey. So I went straight to YouTube. But how do I get that paint out of there? Because it's a latex-based paint, not oil. The stripper doesn't work. So I went to YouTube to try to figure it out. I saw Rita say I'm out of focus. Okay. I think I am in focus. Do you think it's the blurriness from YouTube, or is it truly out of focus? You want to see me do the head duck thing again? Whoop, whoop. I went to the store and got watermelon pizza. Too hot for me to grill today. The watermelon was good. Yeah, when I was at the grocery, there were some other people that were getting watermelon too. And you know what? I don't know why I didn't buy a watermelon. I should have bought a watermelon. I mean, the unofficial start of summer is today. Not the calendar summer, but Memorial Day to Labor Day. That's generic summer. And when I think of summer, I think of watermelon. You got Memorial Day, then July 4th, and then Labor Day. And that's summertime right there. I should have got a watermelon. I got pizza. You know what? I didn't get good pizza, but I got pizza the kids like Little Caesars. I just use the app and I go into Little Caesars, and they at this particular Little Caesars, they have this big oven that's self-serve. So it tells you on the app your code. So I walk in, I put the code in, this little door opens up, I get my pizza and breadsticks, it closes on its own, and I walk right out. I don't have to talk to anybody. I mean, that's nice because of the pandemic thing going on, but they had this system before. It's just efficient to be able to run errands quickly like that, like pick it up and go. So that was cool. That's what we did. Little Caesars pizza. I know. We usually bounce back and forth between Papa John's and Little Caesars. Kids like Little Caesars better than Papa John's. I'll tell you what I was not impressed with recently. Domino's. I got Domino's like 3 weeks or a month ago. Domino's, from a business perspective, has done very well. So if you take the business side of Domino's, they're a very successful company. They've diversified their offering. They have much more than pizza. They are a very clever and smart company. But their pizza, maybe as a byproduct of all this being crafty and coming out with all these different products and lowering their prices, is not that impressive to me. Like, I think Little Caesars tastes better than Domino's. So I wouldn't go back to Domino's. I like Pizza Hut too. Pizza Hut has that kind of unique taste. But you know, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Little Caesars, I'll take those over Domino's, believe it or not. I'm not impressed with Domino's. They didn't even have that much cheese on it. It tastes like bread. The worst pizza. I can't even believe I put those two sentences together, because there's not much that I don't like about pizza. I mean, any kind of pizza. The worst pizza, believe it or not, is from Chuck E. Cheese. So Chuck E. Cheese, like where you go and the kids play games, and the worst pizza. We've had so many birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese, especially when we lived in Florida. Pizza's awful. It's like the cheapest, terrible, like at least be of the quality of like Little Caesars. No way. Chuck E. Cheese is terrible. Like, I would get it and I'd have to put so much of the Parmesan cheese and the red pepper flakes just to like give it something. And I didn't, I don't care for it. I got to jump down and say hello to somebody who used to come to the channel quite a bit, but probably not as much because of the time, which is Cooey from 5422 from Ireland. Happy Memorial Day to you. I hope you're doing well. I wondered about you. I hadn't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. I hope all is well where you are. And thanks for joining the live stream today. That's really good to have you here, and good to see you again. I do pulled pork in my pressure cooker. That's good to know. I mean, we use that crock pot to take pork or chicken and let it sit all day, and then it gets stringy. I mean, you can literally take like chicken breast and a whole thing of Italian dressing, dump it in the crock pot and turn it on, let it go. And you've got something that'll make like chicken sandwiches, like stringy, like almost like pulled chicken sandwiches. I am not the cook, by the way. I do the grill stuff, but I don't cook. That's my wife's department. She's way better. That's why I appreciate people in the community like Dawn from Will and Dawn. She cooks sometimes, and some others. Mama Bear, Instapot, Mama Bear's Adventures. There's some good cooks in the community that contribute to some good recipes. But grilling, I can talk a little bit about, except for the things I mentioned. Back in focus now. Thank you. I did look at YouTube, but I do not have the tools, so I have to buy the tools, and then we'll get angry. So just not worth it. You know, Foxy, you bring up a good point. The key thing to being able to do a job, especially when it comes to cars, is having the right tool. And it took me a while to build up all the little things that are needed. I can't tell you 30, 50 times over all the years that I've had to stop a job because I don't have the right tool. 30 to 50 times until now, you know, after 30 to 50 times having to stop a job because I don't have the right tool. Like most recently when I was working on my car, I didn't have heavy duty enough snap ring pliers, and I was putting these bushings on the rear of my Mustang, and you need these heavy duty snap ring pliers. Well, instead of going to the auto parts store, I wanted a particular one. So I ordered it from Amazon. It took a week. I'm a big Craftsman Tools guy. So I ordered it and it came. So yeah, not having the right tool stinks. Marvin says, watermelon sounds wonderful. It does, because it's summertime. Have you guys seen my hair? It's crazy. I need a haircut. I'm telling you, it's getting crazy. Good thing for hats, It starts like coming out the sides and stuff. It's nuts. I don't know when I need to go to like the dentist and the barber, eye doctor, all that fun stuff. Oh, Ted and Debra Harrison say, greetings, Mr. Mountain Man. Hope you're having a good Memorial Day. Stay safe, my friends. Stay safe as well. I hope you are having a nice Memorial Day as well, honoring our fallen, and thankful for everything that we have. Thank you for joining me here today and having a good time. I usually get the pizza at Aldi or Walmart and bake it, and that's a good way too. What I found at the grocery store was interesting is sometimes a pizza is $5 and Little Caesars pizza is $5. But then I have to come home, pay to heat up my oven, and do all that stuff. So it becomes a wash sometimes. It's the convenience factor, though, of having it at the house. At least you can get pizza 30 plus miles one way if I want a pizza. I make my own, but you cannot do it on a whim. Oh, yeah, Foxy Wolf. So you must be out in the country or something, which has its benefits, by the way, so you don't have to deal with all the craziness. I certainly, the older I get, the more I appreciate a little bit of elbow room. Yeah, 30 miles. So yeah, you need to buy those frozen pizzas and bring them home and make them. Doing good, Mountain Man. Happy to see you live and happy to have you here as well. Rick and Dell are taking off. See you later. God bless and take care. Thank you. Marvin says, hate to do it. Got to run. Everybody have a great week. And I'm going to hang on here for about another 5 minutes or so. I've been doing, keeping it pretty close to like the 1 hour format. And part of that is a few reasons. One, I like the format of the show to stay consistent so everybody knows how it's going to roll. And also to be respectful of my family because I am involved in so much and working and doing all these things. It takes a pretty big bite if I do like a 2 hour or 3 hour live stream, which I haven't really. I think I've done a 2 hour live stream, but usually I keep it around an hour. I have no Walmart or big chain grocery store, right? You can order online, but not the perishables so much. So yeah, you're gonna have to run your errands together. I'm sure you have to plan if you're going to go 30 miles to get somewhere. And Rita says, looks like we were about to get a big storm here in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, I know we were supposed to get some. I'm looking outside. It's still overcast. There's no wind. I hope it stays off. I'll grill no matter what tonight. The only thing that scares me is the lightning. I remember when I lived in Florida, at first I had the grill about 20 or 30 feet off the back of the house, and it would start lightning, but I had food on it, and I'm like, oh gosh, I feel so uncomfortable. Because a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot, but it wasn't uncommon to hear about people getting struck by lightning in Florida. So, and especially when I'd mow the grass. And at the beginning, it was fine, but by the end, it starts, a thunderstorm rolls in real fast. And it's like, do I finish? Or, and you hear the thunder, and I'm like, go lawnmower, go. I wanted to finish. So, yeah, we stay safe outside. You need to have Dawn cut your hair. Yeah, I assume you mean Dawn from Yankee in the South. Yeah, I mean, it is, look at that. You can barely tell. Look at that. I almost look like that guy Flock of Seagulls from the 80s. You remember that? I run so far away. Remember the so yeah. No, but at least it sits down and whatnot. And sometimes I'm wearing a hat. But yeah, I want to get a haircut at least on the sides or whatnot. So anyway, any last minute comments, questions, thoughts, what's happening here in the Mr. Mountain Man community, or anything else going on before we wrap it up? I want to thank all the folks that have stopped by today, by the way, that don't normally stop by or have, we're able to make it. This is unusual to be on at 4 to 5 p.m. But it was nice to be able to do that because it's an off day. And I'm looking forward to more off days. I like to have a day here and there. 3-day weekends are nice because it seems like with me, day one is like running errands and fixing stuff. And sometimes that bleeds into day two, meaning Saturday and Sunday. And right when I catch my breath and relax, it's time to get back to work. And so, yeah. I think Cooey's talking about my hair there with the, oh my gosh. Yeah, probably, right? Like my hair's nuts. Oh, I bought a really nice Craftsman flashlight today. I saw your video about a Craftsman tool you bought, and it just reminded me to buy a Craftsman. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of Craftsman tools, but specifically, and I'm not making any kind of statement or whatever. I like the Craftsman USA tools, but they don't make Craftsman in the United States anymore. Stanley Decker owns them, and all the hand tools are forged and made outside in China. And again, I'm not making any kind of statements or anything like that. It's just, I'm old school. Like I grew up, my grandfather liked to do woodworking, and his garage was filled with Craftsman woodworking tools. And I was more on the mechanic side. So I was building up my Craftsman tools. And little did I know, because I was so busy with family and stuff, I bought Craftsman tools like 2 years ago, some that I didn't have. And I noticed they didn't say USA. I didn't even know they stopped making them there. So what I do is I will go to eBay from time to time and buy the tools that I wanted from Craftsman that were made in the USA, that are what are called like new older stock, meaning somebody's had them sitting around, or they're used, but they're barely used. And trying to, I like the Craftsman USA tools. Again, it's not any kind of statement or anything like that. I mean, the nice thing about if you buy the Chinese-made hand tools, whether it's at Harbor Freight or Craftsman, they're cheap and they're still lifetime warranty. So again, yeah. So Rita's mentioning I'm starting this new video series about these new older stock Craftsman tools that I bought. I've been doing it for some time, but I just started making short videos on it. So I plan to release. I've got a few more that I want to do. And by the way, Handmade Blessings, I watch always. I just don't challenge them. By all means, nobody has to feel like they chime in. And thank you for speaking up. I think that's fantastic. But nobody has to feel like people who like to listen to it like a podcast or radio in the background or just for entertainment. Absolutely. I really, I like everybody, however they want to enjoy this time. You do it however you enjoy. And I'm totally all for that. Cooey asked what tools are still made in the USA. That's a great question. The two main companies that make premier USA tools are Snap-on and Mac. And those tools, I would love to have a garage full of Snap-on tools, but that only from what my experience and many, many moons ago when I was in high school and worked at a high performance shop, Snap-on is typically bought by career mechanics. I mean, so you're talking about buying a socket wrench, like a 3/8" socket wrench. It's going to cost $100 or more just for the wrench, maybe 100, 150. Whereas you buy a consumer home hand tool, Craftsman or otherwise, today you can go into Harbor Freight and get a beautiful chrome 3/8" set with a whole line of sockets for probably like $20. So you can still get USA made tools, but you are going to have to fork out literally 10 times the cash money to do that. But again, if you're a career mechanic, Mac, Snap-on, Mac tools, those are worthy investments. But for me, that's why I love Craftsman USA. That was the perfect medium for the home mechanic. But again, I'm not opposed. I still buy Craftsman. I still love Craftsman. Lowe's sells Craftsman, like even the new Craftsman. Lowe's sells Craftsman. Ace Hardware sells Craftsman. Unfortunately, Sears and Kmart, I mean, they still sell Craftsman, but they are really having it rough. So, because of their business. So you'll find tools there, but they are few and far between. What's kind of fun, what I did last year, I went down to Greenville, South Carolina. I went to a hometown Sears store, and they were on clearance, a whole box of like old USA made wrenches. Now I have most of those wrenches already, but there were a few sizes I was missing. So it's kind of like bargain hunting. I was going through a box, finding the sizes that I still needed. And they were deep discount. I was paying like $8, $9 for a wrench. So that was kind of fun. So anyway, I enjoy that. You're right, Cooey, there are not many tools made still here in the United States. The ones that are about 10x in cost, it literally, but in typically for career folks. So I have fun. You know, a lot of people collect a lot of things. I used to collect baseball cards. Some people collect, little, Disney things and whatever. I don't collect tools, but I like to hunt for them. Then I can use them. So anyway, that's another little fun thing that I'm into. Rita says, really good group today. I agree. Kui said everything seems to be made in China. And once again, that is, and I buy, I have craftsman tools from China and stuff, and they still have lifetime warranty. That wasn't caused by people purposely doing that. That's caused by marketing and economics. I mean, we need cheaper stuff. Like I was talking about earlier today, like I do work around the house to save money to use it for other things. If you're going to go out and you're just trying to fix something at your house, like a pipe that broke or something, and you need to just get a set of tools and you go out, you're not thinking about, you just go to Harbor Freight, get a good deal and you'll be done with it. And so, the way it evolved to this point is not people being, like, oh, I don't want to buy, this or that. But the reality was the Craftsman USA stuff was so much more expensive. So, but anyway, I wasn't making any statements about that. I was just saying it's just something I enjoy. I like because that's what I grew up with. I grew up with it, so I kind of like it. So you know what, guys, that's a fun conversation. A little bit of the Handyman channel there too. So that's going to do it. Again, remember our Fallen Honor Memorial Day. Be thankful for everything you have, your family, friends, your house, the food you have tonight, all the good stuff. Again, I really enjoyed talking to you all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Enjoy it, relax. If you're traveling, be safe, drive safely. I'll let everybody know on a weekly basis. Again, I do through Twitter about if the status of the timing of the live stream, when it will happen. And yes, have a great day. And thank you again to Kui, Rita, Handmade Blessings, Marvin Carlton, Rick&Dell, Foxy Wolf, Crystal was dropped in for a minute. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. We had, Smoky Mountain Hiker was here earlier. We had Yankee in the South here for a little bit. Lily was here, and I think and everybody that was listening to in the background, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. And this is Mr. Mountain Man saying thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you next time for another Mountain Man Monday live stream. Goodbye, everyone.